Hello and welcome back to the Air Armoury. I'm JRH and today I'm going to be reviewing Gamo Zombie Tracker air rifle pellets. As you've just seen, this is them in their original packaging, and as you can see from the picture, the cartoon zombie, they're a bit of a gimmick, but you know, everybody loves zombies and they're so prominent at the moment in film, TV and video games, and even firearms are buying into this with the Hornady Zombie Max ammo, which I believe they do in everything from about 9mm up to 308, but I don't want to get into that too much. This is an Airgun channel. Despite being a bit of a gimmick, they are quite pricey at $9.99 for a tin of 125. So I know what you're thinking, what makes them zombie pellets? Well, they have a glow-in-the-dark tip to make it easier to reload when you're battling zombies at night. And that's a hard polymer tip that's designed to expand on impact, therefore causing maximum damage to the zombies. And as it says on the packaging, Zombie Tracker, stop them in their tracks. You can see a close-up of the pellets here, which are 177 caliber, and they're a pretty average weight of 7.8 grains. Now, as far as I can see, and feel free to correct me if I'm wrong, Gamo only make these in 177. Now, I don't know about you, but if I was fighting off hordes of the undead with an air rifle and I didn't have a 303 Day-State Wolverine, I think I'd probably want something in at least 2.2. To review these pellets, I'm going to do 3 tests. First one, just a standard accuracy test, for maybe 10 or 15 rounds into that. Second of all, I'm going to do an impact test, for which I'll be using this old guitar body, which is made of basswood or something. Very good, it's a lot of stopping power, but also absorbs a lot of the impact, so there's no ricochets. And last but not least, I shall wait until it gets dark, set up one of the Gamo Zombie targets, and I'll light that up with some glow sticks, and we'll see how well they work as zombie trackers. And for those tests, I'm going to be using my SMK QB78 Deluxe CO2 rifle, which I've already sighted in today using some Day-State Rangemaster pellets. I'm going to do all 3 tests unscoped at a range of about 12.5 meters, which you can see here. Okay, we've got a round in the chamber, let's get shooting. Okay, so here we have our target. Now I fired 15 shots at it. Now I don't have a chronograph, so I'm not entirely sure of the velocity, but judging on the caliber, the weight of the pellet and the spec of the rifle, I imagine it's coming in at about 700 feet per second. Now most of the pellets, pretty good grouping, slightly off centre over this range the rifle shoots a bit high. The only ones really off, this one, where I found I pulled it as I fired it, and that one, not quite sure what happened with that one. I mean, it's a bit windy, but it shouldn't have made too much difference. The main grouping though, 13 pellets, will actually all fit on the space of a 2p piece, like so. Overall, pretty impressed with the accuracy, and I think they actually performed better than I thought they were going to in that respect. Now, I've seen how the zombie trackers fared in the accuracy test. We're now going to look how well they did in the impact test. Now, as you can see, most of the pellets didn't actually lodge themselves in the wood, which is a similar issue I've actually found with hollow points. They look like they've got quite good penetration and done quite a bit of damage compared to just a standard 177 that you can see on the back there. Now, before firing, the widest point of these pellets is obviously 4.5 millimeters, so it's a 177. Now, I've got my caliper. I'm going to dig one out and see what the widest point is now to see how much they've expanded on impact. You can see that's the pellet there. It has obviously deformed slightly. Not as much as I maybe would have expected to see, but it is going into quite a hard target. There. And that now comes in at about 5.1. Here I've set out some pellets close up for comparison. Number 1, we've got our unfired zombie tracker. Number 2, we've got the one we removed from the wood. Now number 3, also a zombie tracker. This one though has got a lot greater expansion, out to about 8.1 millimeters. And this one I recovered from the accuracy test. And I think shooting a softer target, as it just had a book behind the target, it just allows a lot more room for the lead jacket to expand around the polymer tip. Number 4 is just a zombie tracker I've cut in half so that you can see the shape of the tip more. Now 5 and 6 clearly aren't zombie trackers, they are in fact 14.2 grain RWS super hollow points in 2.2 caliber. Now I've included these as comparison because I think this would be my alternate pellet should there be a zombie invasion. Number 5 clearly being the unfired and 6 being the fired pellet. Now in terms of how effective against zombies, despite the expansion we can see in number 3 here, I think I'd probably still want to be using a 2.2 hollow point. I think you're going to get a lot more consistent results and just got a lot more stopping power, whereas this one I think in a soft target could just suffer from over penetration. Okay, it's now night time and we're going to go in search of some ghouls of the night to test these zombie trackers on. I think I hear something. Come with me. There's definitely something over there. I can see the glow. Just what I suspected. A zombie. Let's get the trackers and see if those glow-in-the-dark tips really work. Good morning. So I guess you're all wondering how well the zombie trackers worked at night. Well, don't get too excited. As you can see from this video, you can't see anything whatsoever. Now, this isn't the best camera at night, but I couldn't see anything whilst I was shooting and had someone else watching me shoot and they couldn't see anything either. That being said, they did glow in the dark, as you can see from this photo, but not that well, especially as the tip is so small and it's travelling 700 plus feet per second. Here you can see we have our friend from last night. Now I could tell the trackers weren't working as I was firing, so I actually fired 5 shots. And judging by this target, you wouldn't have believed the results of the accuracy test. That one missing the target entirely. But the reason for that was the rifle I was using, the QB78 Deluxe, has fibre optic sights, which, as could be anticipated, are absolutely useless in the dead of night, or in this case, I guess, the undead of night. Now, overall, these pellets are a bit of fun, which is the sole reason I bought them. I mean, they didn't work too well as tracers, or trackers as it calls them, but they were a lot more accurate than I'd anticipated. I think they'd be worth getting to try out if you like the whole zombie thing, or you shoot a lot at night, as the glow in the dark did make them easy to reload. But you're probably not going to want to be shooting these every day. I mean, it's going to be quite expensive, and frankly I can't really see the point. Now, if you like the idea of a hard tip to the pellet, you do actually have other options available, and the Gamo themselves actually make, from what is in all intents and purposes, the exact same pellet with a red non-glow-in-the-dark tip called the Red Fire. I don't have any of those to show you though, and those also actually come out slightly cheaper. That concludes my review of the Gamo Zombie Tracker pellets. Thanks for watching. I hope you found the video of interest, and if so, be sure to check out our other videos and subscribe to the Armoury channel. So until next time, keep your arms in the air.